This is the second part of our discussion where we will further explore some examples of contour integration. In the previous module, we saw one example, one very simple example where we evaluated contour integration, but in this part we will discuss some non-trivial examples. And these non-trivial examples will not only tell us how to evaluate contour integration, but they will also depict some properties of these contour integration. And when we will guess these properties, then in our future modules we will try to prove these properties. So let's begin with our discussion. Let's first recall what is a contour. A contour is basically a collection of piecewise smooth curves, but it is not just a random collection. So it's a collection such that the end of C1 is connected with the beginning of C2, and similarly the end of Cn minus 1 is connected with the beginning of Cn, up to so on. So that is a contour, and the important thing is it's a piecewise smooth curve, so each component is smooth. So in this case, this is C1, this is C2, this is C3, this is C4. So all of these four components are smooth. And that's how we evaluate a contour integral. So if we have a contour defined by the parametric equation z of t, where t varies from a to b, then that's how we evaluate it. We first calculate this composition f of z of t, and then we multiply it with z prime of t, and then evaluate this integral. Now this is an integral of a complex valued function of one variable, where the interval of the real variable is a to b, and we also know that how to evaluate these integrals. So if f of t is a complex valued function of one variable and we want to evaluate it from a to b, then that's how we evaluate it. Just evaluate the real and imaginary parts separately, and then that's it. Now let's move on to the examples of this module. So we have same function, so f of z is z, but two different contours, and the important thing is the initial and final points are the same. So C1 is a semicircle from minus iota to iota, so this is the direction of motion which is given, and C2 is a polygonal path from minus iota to iota. So in this case we took this polygon to be a triangle. So we move from minus iota to 1, and then we move from 1 to iota. So basically this C2 has two components. So this contour C2 has two components. Let's call them C2 star and C2 double star. So of course this is not just one example. These are this is two different examples, but they are related by the fact that we are integrating the same function, and the initial and final points are the same, but the path that we are taking from minus iota to iota is different, and it will be interesting to see that what is going to be the answer of these two contour integrals. Are they going to be the same, or they're going to be different? Now let's begin with our solution. So let's begin with the C1. Now we want to first parameterize this C1. So the parameterization of C1, since it is just a semicircle, so we just write down the parameterization of a circle, which is cosine t plus iota sine t, and t varies from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, so we just take this line, and this is minus pi by 2, and this is pi by 2. So we vary from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So since minus iota is the starting point, so we start from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. But cosine t plus iota sine t is just equal to e raised to power iota t. Now this interpretation will help us in taking the derivative of this parameterization. So let's call this parameterization to be z1 of t. Now what is z1 prime of t? Because we know that we are going to need this if we want to evaluate this contour integral. So this is going to be equal to, so just take the derivative of e raised to power iota t. So this is going to be equal to iota e raised to power iota t. Now let's evaluate this integral. So integral along this contour C1 of function z. Okay, so this is going to be equal to, so z of z1 of t. Okay, so z of z1 of t, just write down z1 of t. Okay, so basically we need to write down f of z of t, z prime of t, dt if we want to evaluate, so from a to b. So in this case, or f of z is equal to z, so f of z of t is just going to be equal to z of t. So what is z of t? So this is going to be equal to e raised to power iota t, and the derivative is going to be equal to iota e raised to power iota t dt, and the interval is going to be equal to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay, now let's evaluate this integral. So this is going to be equal to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So iota is just a constant, so this is going to be equal to e raised to power iota 2t dt. Okay, now let's evaluate this integral. So this is going to be equal to iota e raised to power iota 2t, and the constant with t is basically 2 iota, so we divide with 2 iota after integration. And if we want to further evaluate, just use the fundamental theorem of complex integral. So this is going to be equal to 1 by 2, because iota and iota will cancel out each other. So this is going to be equal to 1 by 2 and e raised to power iota 2t from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now this is going to be equal to 1 by 2 e raised to power iota pi minus 1 by 2 e raised to power minus iota pi, and we know that e raised to power iota pi is cosine pi plus iota sine pi. Sine pi is 0, cosine pi is minus 1, so this is going to be equal to 1 by 2 minus 1 minus 1 by 2. Once again, e raised to power minus iota pi is going to be equal to cosine minus pi plus iota sine minus pi. So sine minus pi is 0, cosine of minus pi is once again minus 1. So this is going to be equal to minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which is going to be equal to 0. So that's the contour integral of the function z, where the contour is c1, which is this semicircle. Starting point is minus iota, end point is iota. So that's our answer in this case. Now let's move on to the second part of this example, where we want to evaluate the same function. The starting point is the same, end point is the same, but the path or the contour that we take is different. So first we take this line segment from minus iota to 1, and then we take this line segment from 1 to iota. Now let's call this line segment C2 star, and let's call this line segment C2 double star. So of course this contour integral is going to be the sum of two contour integrals. So we integrate first along C2 star, and then integrate along C2 double star, and then we add them, and then we get our answer. Now let's first discuss C2 star. Now once again, this is a line segment, and if the starting point is z0, so let's call it z0, and if the end point is z1, we know that the parameterization of a line segment from z0 to z1 is just let's call it y1 of t. So this is going to be equal to z0 plus z1 minus z0 t, where t varies from 0 to 1. So in this case, what is z0? Z0 is minus iota, plus z1 is 1, and then minus minus iota is plus iota t, where t of course varies from 0 to 1. So this is parameterization. Okay, so the parameterization y1 of t is going to be equal to minus iota plus 1 plus iota t, where t varies from 0 to 1, and y1 prime of t is going to be equal to, of course, 1 plus iota. Now let's evaluate this integral. So function is z dz, we are evaluating along C2 star. So this is going to be equal to the interval is 0 to 1, because the variation of t is 0 to 1. This is going to be equal to, so once again the function is z, so f of z of t becomes just z. So in this case of course the parameterization is y1 of t. So let me first write down f of y1 of t, y1 prime of t dt, and of course f of z is going to be equal to z in this case. So 0 to 1, so what do we get? Minus iota plus 1 plus iota t. Okay, and y1 prime of t is just 1 plus iota, and this is a constant, and we can just write it down outside the integral. So this is going to be equal to 1 plus iota. So just integrate this function. So this is going to be equal to minus iota t plus, okay, and then 1 plus iota is constant, and then we have t squared by 2. 0 to 1 is the interval of integration. Now using once again fundamental theorem of fundamental theorem for complex integrals. So this is going to be equal to 1 plus iota is equal to, okay, so first using the upper limit, so minus iota plus 1 plus iota divided by 2, and of course the lower limit is 0, and there are t in both terms, so it's just going to be equal to 0. Now if we simplify this thing, so simplification will give us the answer to be equal to 1. So that's first part of the contour. Now moving on to the second part. So this is C2 star, this is C2 double star. Now we want to consider C2 double star. Now let's call the parameterization of this part to be y2 of t, and in case of y2 of t, the first point or the initial point is z0, the final point is z1 is equal to iota, and the parameterization y2 of t is going to be equal to z0 plus z1 minus z0 t, where t varies from 0 to 1, and z0 is going to be equal to 1 plus z1 is iota and minus 1 t. Okay, so the parameterization is going to be equal to 1 plus iota minus 1 t, where t varies from 0 to 1. So that's the parameterization. Okay, so what is y2 prime of t? So this is going to be equal to iota minus 1. Now what is going to be the integral along this contour C2, which is just a line segment of z dz? So this is going to be equal to 0 to 1, 1 plus iota minus 1 t, iota minus 1 dt. Okay, so we are just using the definition where we first write down f of z of t and then z prime of t. In this case, z of t is y2 of t, so y2 of t is 1 plus iota minus 1 t. Okay, now once again this iota minus 1 is constant, we can just write it down outside. So what do we get? So we get 1 plus iota minus 1 t dt. So it's a integral of a complex valued function of one variable t over this real interval 0 to 1. So we know how to integrate this complex valued function. So this is going to be equal to t plus iota minus t, t squared by 2. So this is just equal to iota minus 1. So using these limits 0 to 1 is going to be equal to 1 plus iota minus 1 divided by 2. Now if we simplify this thing, then it is going to be equal to minus 1. Okay, now what does this imply? So this implies that if we integrate along C2 this function z dz, then it is going to be equal to the integral of z dz along C2 star plus the integral of z dz along this function C2 double star. And we know that the value of this integral along C2 star was basically 1, and the value of the integral z dz along C2 double star is minus 1. So the answer is going to be 1 minus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so that's our answer. Now let's see what we have achieved in this example. Okay, so first we evaluated this integral of function z dz along the contour C1, and the answer that we got was 0. And then we integrated the same function, the same starting and ending point, and in fact the direction of motion is also the same, and we get the answer to be equal to 0. Now in this example, our function was the same, z. The initial point was minus iota, the final point was iota, and the different thing in both parts of this example was we took different path, we took different contour. So one contour was semicircle from minus iota to iota, and the other contour was kind of two line segments starting from minus iota to iota. So it's a kind of polygonal path from minus iota to iota. But the interesting thing is the answer in both cases was the same. Now the interesting question is there a criteria to find out when the answer of the integral is independent of path? So these kind of questions are going to be part of our future discussions. So this is the end of our discussion. This is the end of our part 2 of examples. In further modules, we will explore some further examples and try to find some interesting properties of these contour integrals.